Hey guys, welcome back. We're going to finish our last lesson over transformations. It's been a really short and easy and hopefully fun for you. I had a lot of fun lecturing the last lecture in class as well. Throwing paper airplanes, I mean, come on. Getting to draw controversial symbols, a ton of fun. And probably my favorite is, of course, blowing up puppies and kind of doing all of our dilations. That was really cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll be doing symmetry here, so pretty simple stuff here. So lines of symmetry and rotational symmetry, really, you don't even need this. Let's be honest. You probably already know all this stuff, but that's what's going to make this a really fun lesson because there's really nothing new. It's just some cool pictures you get to look at and kind of find a few patterns here. So a line of symmetry, clearly, no, yes. So this is our line of symmetry. So line of symmetry is whenever we fold it along the dotted line of the symmetry. Whenever we fold it over, it matches up exactly. So in other words, it reflects onto its own pre-image. So if I take this image here and I reflect it across the line, the dotted line A here, the pre-image is going to reflect over onto the image, and it's going to match up completely. Okay, so that tells us that it's going to be symmetrical, in other words. So we have reflectional symmetry, also we have rotational symmetry. So reflectional symmetry or linear symmetry, same thing. We see that in nature all the time. So if you look over here, you've got this snake. So its wings look like snakes, which is a defense mechanism. Really cool stuff you see in nature. Here we have rotational symmetry. So rotational symmetry is whenever we're able to rotate the object a certain amount, less than 360 degrees. If we rotate it all the way around, of course, it's going to match up again. But if we rotate it less than 360 degrees, so like 180 degrees or less, and it matches up again, then we say that it has rotational symmetry. So on this flower here, if you notice, it's going through these kind of points. We've got 5 petals, and if we rotate it a fifth of a turn, then it's going to match up exactly again. We could do it again here, here, and then back where we started. So 5 times. So if the question we have is what is the angle of rotational symmetry? We can measure it with our protractor, and then we know how to use protractors, right? So I could take that measurement and go from here to roughly there. I know what it should be, so I'm going to cheat. It should be it should be 72 degrees. So the fact that it's off a little bit, that's okay. Not that big of a deal. We might delete that, get rid of it. So it should be 72 degrees. So the question is, how do we calculate that? Well, we know the whole thing is 360 degrees. So if we go all the way around, that's 360 degrees. You remember our circle of oughtness. And there's 5 petals. So if we divide that by 5, because it's going to be broken up into 5 sections there, that's going to leave us with 72 degrees. So our angle of rotational symmetry is 72 degrees. So pretty simple. Here's another rotational symmetry. Rotational symmetry is kind of fun. So here we have 6 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we do 360 divided by 6, we can probably do in your head, which is going to be 60 degrees. Oh, ooh, dang. Whew, I think this is a Koenigsegg symbol. So yeah, that's a fast car. Isn't that nice? Well, what's really cool is I get to show off some of my smartboard and Photoshop skills because it rotates. All right, so on this one, how many spokes do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we divide by 8, well, half would be 180, half of that's 90, half of that's 45. So it should be, yes, 45 degrees. All right, so we have 45 degrees for our angle for our rotational symmetry. And as I rotate it, oh, that is so sick. How does he do these things with a smartboard? It's magic. So every 45 degrees, it'll match up again. Let's try that again. Supposed to be able to make the wheel fall off. It works better in class because it's different stuff. But anyway, yeah, you can see how I actually did it. Ooh, that's pretty. Anyway, putting it back together. Control Z is helpful. All right, rotational symmetry. Here we have, I forget what the name of it is, but this is a symbol. It looks kind of creepy because it's 3 legs that are conjoined at the thigh. It's got some kind of like Viking roots, but it's from it's on the flag of the Isle of Man, which is a little island in between Britain and Ireland. So anyway, kind of creepy, kind of cool. But also, if we spin it around 120 degrees, of course it's not balanced, but you get the idea. 120 degrees would be our angle of rotational symmetry because we're dividing it by 3. All right, here we have a starfish, besides the fact that it's deformed, which is okay, or that's just like curved around a rock there. It's got 5, so we divide by 5. It's going to be 72 degrees again. All right, so another question, kind of fun. What is the angle of rotation of the Earth after 6 hours? Well, first question we have is how many hours does it take to do a full rotation? Well, it's 24 hours in a day, right? So 6 out of 24 reduces down to 1/24th. Then we multiply that, a fourth of 360 degrees, which would be a full rotation, in our circle of altness, which would give us a total of 90 degrees. So it's a quarter turn, which is 90 degrees for our rotation. What about after 8 hours? Well, 8 out of 24 is going to be a third. So a third of 36 or 360 is going to be 120 degrees. So the Earth rotates 120 degrees while you're in school. Kind of cool. Or while you're sleeping, if you get 8 hours of sleep. All right, so we're on the assignment. Wow. That is so fast. That's amazing. So such simple stuff. A lot of fun. All right, number 1, tell what types of symmetry each figure has, whether it's lines of symmetry, rotational, or reflectional symmetry. We'll go from there. All right, if it has linear symmetry, sketch the lines of symmetry. If it has rotational symmetry, then tell the angle of rotation. And oftentimes we'll actually have both. So on this one, we don't have any rotational symmetry because we'd have to rotate it all the way around 360 degrees before it lines up again. But you should see a horizontal line of symmetry here. So we have one line of symmetry, and we'll just say not applicable for the angle of rotational symmetry because there is no rotational symmetry. All right, on number 2, these angles here, 58 and 58, if the base angles are congruent, that tells us that the two sides are the same as well. So this is an isosceles. Isosceles. I might have spelled that wrong. I don't care. I teach math. All right, so isosceles triangle, which means two sides are the same. The third side's not necessarily the same. In fact, we know it can't be the same because the missing angle here is not 60 degrees. It's going to be 64 degrees. So this is actually our longest side, opposite of our biggest angle, in case you were curious. That's the triangle inequality theorem, which we would have gotten to in Unit 6, but not anymore because of distance learning. Maybe we'll be able to fit it in second semester if I can. I'll try. It's fun stuff too. Anyway, so we have one line of symmetry going right down the middle because the 58 matches up with 58. This side matches up with this side, but we can't cut it across 58 because the 58 and 64 won't be the same. So we have one line of symmetry, and there's no rotational symmetry because we'd have to go all the way around before it matches up again. But if this was an equilateral triangle, there would be 120 degree rotational angle for rotational symmetry. Ooh, it's late. I need to go to bed. And 3 lines of symmetry. Number 3, like this one, equilateral triangle for our lovely recycling symbol. So first one that we have here is there, and then we have this one here, and then we would have another line of symmetry going across here. So we have 3 lines of symmetry. Next question is, what's our angle for rotational symmetry? So if we divide it by 3, that's going to be 120 degrees. Actually, that should go further. I'm sorry. Yeah, that should go all the way to this one here because we would match it up from this point to this point here before it matches up again. So it should be angle of rotational symmetry is 120 degrees, which means I probably did the other ones wrong too. My bad. The ones in the future, the ones in the past are fine. All right, so here, wow, this is, do you recognize this symbol? Remember the oil spill? They don't want me saying that. British Petroleum. So this is BP. And on this one, lines of symmetry, we've got lots and lots of lines of symmetry. In fact, for every single petal here, it's kind of like a flower, like a daisy or something. For every single petal, there's a line of symmetry that goes through it. So we would have to count the total number. I think there's 18. There's 18. Just trust me. There's 18. So if we divide it by 18, 360 divided by 18 is 20 degrees. So we have a 20 degree angle of rotational symmetry. And number of lines of symmetry, there are 18. All right, so we have this capital letter N here. Do we have any lines of symmetry? If I go horizontal, it won't reflect on itself. If I go vertical, it won't. Diagonal is what I start with. Horizontal won't work either. So there are no lines of symmetry. So is there any angles of rotational symmetry? Because it's actually possible to have one but not the other, which is kind of cool. So let's check. If I rotate it 180 degrees, what? It's like a Z or 2. Oh, it's so close. So why is it off? Well, if you notice the bottom, the base here, is it going to be thicker, like 3 C's thick, by the way, in case you're curious, than the top one, which is only like 2 C's thick. So clearly not the same thing. So it is not going to have any rotational symmetry, but it was close. It was really close. So not applicable. Number 11, Chrysler symbol. Just I gave you the word so you know what the symbol is, but just go off the symbol of it, not the word, clearly. Lines of symmetry. Well, we got one right down the middle, vertical. We've got one actually through every single petal. So we have another line of symmetry. Oh, okay. Well, we got actually 5 lines of symmetry. So we've got one One through this pedal, one through this one here, and this one here. Actually, this is totally wrong. Let me see if I can fix this really quick without taking a bunch of time. When we're talking about time, I'm doing great on time. Okay, so this actually should go from this pedal all the way to this pedal. Isn't that lovely? Let me try that again. So from here all the way to here, which is going to be 72 degrees, because it's like a pentagon, right? So it is 72 degrees for the angles of rotational symmetry. Number of lines of symmetry, we would have 5. Probably noticing a pattern there. Good. All right, so British symbol like Austin Powers, James Bond. James Bond. All right, so that's a 90-degree angle of rotational symmetry. Lines of symmetry, we've only got 2. So on this one, be careful because these back lines here are going to mess things up. So we can only do it vertically, they'll reflect on themselves, or horizontally, they would reflect on themselves as well. We can't go diagonally because they're not going to work. So we only have 2 lines of symmetry on that one. Number 17, Red Bull gives you wings. Number of lines of symmetry, we've got 1 right down the middle, vertical. And the angle of rotational symmetry, the problem if I do this upside down, I don't think they're gonna make it. They look like they're frolicking, like they're rolling around in the grass. Not nearly as aggressive as they do now. Now they're fighting. Now they're rolling around. Isn't that funny? Perspective changes everything. I'm in a good mood. 19 through 22. These are really fun. Determine how many lines of symmetry each polygon has. So these are regular polygons, by the way, meaning all their sides and angles are going to be congruent. So we got 1, we've got 2, and we've got 3. So trick is just go through the vertices there, or sometimes when it's an odd number, you go through the vertices. Whenever it's an even number, you go through the vertices and the gaps. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the 5th one would match back up with the first one. So on a equilateral triangle, we have 3 lines of symmetry. On a square, which is a regular rectangle or quadrilateral, we have 4. On a pentagon, oops, spoilers. Well, that saves me from having to click a lot, right? So we have 5, and then on a hexagon, we have 6. Do you notice a pattern? So the number of sides on a regular polygon is equal to the number of lines of symmetry that we're going to have. So based on that pattern from 19 through 22, what is the relationship between the number of sides of the regular polygon and the number of lines of symmetry? So they're going to be equal. So if we have a regular decagon, which has 10 sides, then it would have 10 lines of symmetry, which is very similar to what we saw with the British Petroleum thing here. There it is. Yeah, number 8. Because it had 18 points, it also will have 18 lines of symmetry, which is really cool. Okay. Same thing we saw with the Chrysler, because that was like a regular pentagon. All right. Done. Okay, so tell whether each 3D object has rotational symmetry, lines of symmetry, or both. So you can just label it R, L, or B. Just go through them pretty quick. Light bulb. So we're going to do like a traditional looking light bulb, not like the curly Q ones, curly fry ones, what I like to think about it. So this one, it does have rotational symmetry right down the middle. As you rotate it, as you spin it in and install the light bulb, it matches up on itself, which is really nice. It also has lines of symmetry. Technically, I guess you could say it has infinitely lines of symmetry because every way that you cut it, as long as it's going through the center line here, it will be a line of symmetry. So our answer for us is going to be just B because it has both. A sand dollar. So if you've never been to the beach, I've actually, some of my students have never been to the beach. It's kind of fun. You hopefully be able to go. But beaches are lots of fun, and certain times you can find a lot of sand dollars. So when we went to Florida, we were stepping on them all the time. I was like, what is this? And then I picked it up. I was like, oh, it's a sand dollar. And of course I put it back because they're protected. So this is a sand dollar. They're really cool. And in case you haven't seen one or didn't know what one is, because we live in the landlocked country of Oklahoma, it's a 3-dimensional object. It does have rotational symmetry. I mean, you've got this like defect here, if you want to call it that, and you're missing like a hole up here. But in general, you can say, yeah, the pattern has rotational symmetry. It's up to you, your discretion. I don't care either way. And lines of symmetry, yeah, you could say we have 5 lines of symmetry. It's a little lopsided, but that's okay. So we would say both. Both. Not a D. I don't know what's wrong with me. 34. Tambourine. You see this in church. Certain kinds of churches. It's funny because you're thinking what I'm thinking, but I'm not going to say it out loud because it's offensive to some people. All right, so does it have lines of symmetry? So it's funny because some of my students like, yeah, we see those in church all the time. So they're like, you guys have those in your church? And like certain kinds of churches. Anyway, it's funny. Charismatics. 6. Okay, all right, so tell whether a three-dimensional object has rotational symmetry, lines of symmetry, or both. So on our tambourine here, that was a nice way of putting it. On our tambourine here, it does have a line of symmetry. We can reflect it across itself. We also have rotational symmetry. If all the symbols go all the way around, usually there's a smooth part for like your hand, for your handle or whatever. But if the symbols do go all the way around, we could say we have rotational symmetry as well. So you could say both on this one. All right, 38, kind of Englishy. Looking at the capital English alphabet. There are, draw the lines of symmetry for the 15 capital letters in the English alphabet that have linear symmetry. So easy, pretty fun. A, so we have a line of symmetry going up and down. B, you could say, at least on this font, looks like horizontal line of symmetry. C has one horizontal as well. D has a horizontal one. E is horizontal. F does not have lines of symmetry. You see what we're doing? H is only a vertical line of symmetry. I could technically go both ways, but splitting atoms at that point. J, no. K, no. L, no. M, yes. Oh, that was supposed to be vertical. I'm struggling here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm struggling with straight. Please. That we're going to call that good. Okay, but there's no horizontal. You get the idea. All right, so do that for these. There should be 15 when you're done. What about the 7 capital letters in the English alphabet that have rotational symmetry? So if we can rotate them 180 degrees or less and they match up again, then we have rotational symmetry. So A would have to go all the way around. That's not going to work. B has to go all the way around. C has to go all the way back around. D, no. Let me find the first one for you. E does not, F does not, G does not. H, ooh, it's so close, but it has to go because this is longer than the top part. I definitely 180 degrees upside down, still the same. J, K, nope. L, no. M makes a W, but that's not what we're looking for. N, this font of N actually would have rotational symmetry. O, of course it does. P and then Q, no. R, no. S does, which is cool. T does not. U does not. V does not. W does not. X, C, yes, that does. And then Z does as well. Do we have 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, there's only 6. Am I missing one? I've got to be missing one. Which one could I be missing? This one's not 120 degrees, so that's not it. V, W, T, R, S, Q, P. I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah. My guess is I probably assumed that H was. That's probably it. But it looks, honestly, when I look at it closer, it looks like the top part's longer than the bottom part. So I would say no on that one. But that's probably the 7th one that I thought it was. Don't drive yourself crazy if you're off by a little bit. It's all for fun. Number 40, draw the lines of symmetry for the 14 lowercase Greek alphabet letters that have linear symmetry. So draw the lines of symmetry. Alpha, beta, don't know. Chi? I don't know. I don't know the Greek alphabet. So I'm going to stop before I make a fool of myself. But you enjoy yourself. After this, the next day, I'm going to post the practice test for transformations. Should be pretty simple. Then I'll post the solutions to it. Maybe give me a day or so I can get enough data in so I can actually post and tell you guys what you're doing wrong. And then starting next week, we will be taking the taking the actual transformations test in person. And we'll do the first half of the day doing the transformations test and reviewing the questions you guys missed from Unit 2, which is over converse, inverse, contrapositive, all the logic stuff. Then at the end of class, we're going to be doing an in-class activity with compasses, which is a ton of fun. We will also be doing our retakes for the questions number 11 through 20 that you missed from the midterm. So you guys did those retakes and actually raised your grades up quite a bit. So I'm proud. I'm happy. We got 2 more weeks of doing that before we're done with all of our retakes and makeup tests and stuff like that. So grades are going up. You guys are doing well. So let me know if you have any questions. See you later.